hanging out in New York City, and I've been playing a Game Boy Advance game that, well, I can't stand it. I hate it. It's called Yu Yu Hakusho, and I got to tell you, this thing just annoys the hell out of me. It's very confusing. You play a little character named Yusuke, and you don't really know what you're doing. You don't really have like a map screen to go to or anything. You have this little compass with a little tiny arrow sort of pointing you in the direction. But you're just basically running, and then you'll find a dead end, and you have to turn around and run and find some other way to go. And you'll stop every once in a while and get into fights and all that stuff. It's just that the game is so boring. I mean, you'll be running around forever, and I got to tell you something. I was playing the game, and this has never happened to me before on a Game Boy Advance game. I actually fell asleep playing the game. I was running into walls and just fighting every once in a while, and I really can't recommend it. I'm giving Yu Yu Hakusho 3 out of 10, and mostly it's because I like the name. Alright, we're back. We've got the New York skyline behind us. We're going to talk now about Tony Hawk's Underground from Activision. We looked at it on the PlayStation 2, but it's also available for the GameCube and Xbox. What'd you think of this one?
That's right. Well, you know, the Tony Hawk series, you know, we've mentioned on the show a few times, starting to get a little old.
Starting to get a little old.
Yes. So they figured, okay, what can we do to Tony Hawk to liven it up a little bit?
Right.
They said, hey, let's do this whole Grand Theft Auto series.
Absolutely.
Put him in a city where he can kind of go everywhere. The question is, though, does it work? What happens is they put the skateboarders in the city and they set up all these little mini missions that are just kind of bad. And when you get off the skateboarding, that's when the engine really starts to show its flaws.
Yes, you can hook onto roofs and climb up and do jumps and stuff.
Definitely some collision detection problems there.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking concessions.
I
like the idea, though. I like the idea of connecting all these missions into a story. I think that's very clever.
But the problem is that they force you
to do the stuff
to complete
in order.
all those
I know.
missions,
That was
and
my big issue.
It's way too linear.
It's not too far into the game. You've got to skitch on this car to jump this bridge so you get away from the cops. That thing, it took me forever to finally get the control and skitch over and jump the thing. And it was just one difficult task after another. It was driving me crazy.
What I thought this was going to be was more like Grand Theft Auto, where it had this huge city where you can go all over the place. The reality is it's very tight, closed-in city, and after you skateboarded around for, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, you're completely bored with that.
Right.
So then
you move on to new cities and new levels. You hop on trains and
which gives you the whole frustration level. Now, the other thing I thought was pathetic was the fact that, especially in the first world, there's only like 2 cars. There's a cop car, a street racer car, and that's it in the whole city. And even the people within the city are the same sprites, it's the same characters.
It is cool that you can hop off of the board and you can drive cars.
But the problem is that the controls, you drive a car, but the controls are so bad.
They're very much like the skateboarding controls.
The skateboarding controls are good for a skateboard, bad for a car.
Right.
And the same thing with running around and climbing off rooftops and everything.
Let's talk about the good stuff.
The graphics of the city and the town itself are really good.
Yeah.
My favorite part is the fact that you can actually download your face.
That's what I was going to say.
Into the game.
That's a very cool part of the game.
It's a cool
Only
option.
on the PlayStation 2, by the way. All the other systems, you can't get that thing on.
Which is ridiculous on the Xbox.
Another thing that I really enjoyed, too, is on the PlayStation 2 version, you can actually play Tony Hawk online. You can do, like, King of the Hill matches, graffiti.
But no Xbox Live. And I think that's, Activision, what's up with that? It's impressive. It's still Tony Hawk. I'm giving it a 7.5.
I think there's enough good stuff in here that Tony Hawk fans are going to love it, and first-time skaters are going to dig it as well. 8.5 out of 10.
Wow.
On the positive side, you can import your own face into the game, at least on the PlayStation 2 version. There's a bunch of great online modes, at least on the PlayStation 2 version. And even though the game's a little too ambitious, it's very cool how much stuff they packed into this one.
On the negative side, there is absolutely no online love for the Xbox or GameCube. The little side missions that they send you on are just too tedious. And the Tony Hawk series overall is starting to get a little stale.
Next thing we're going to talk about is a very innovative piece of hardware. This is the Pyramat PM 300 sound mat. You can actually lie down on it. It has a speaker built into the pyramid part of it, and you can actually have the thing thump into the back of your head.
I don't know why they just didn't bother doing this in 5.1.
Right.
They could have put stuff at your feet. If you play games in stereo, it is kind of cool.
It is cool.
But here's the thing about this.
Yes.
Okay, this is a pad that you're supposed to lay down on, right?
Right.
It's a big triangle for your head.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like hard foam. If you're going to make something like this, could you have at least made it comfortable? They fold it up,
Yeah.
and then you have a handle, and it's like this big. So, look, it's portable.
Yeah.
You know, it's like...
They actually have like a table thing that you can
Hulk?
stick on top of it
Who
to
is
use
this
it
portable for?
as a side table.
The worst part of it is that I don't know what material they used to make this,
Yeah.
but boy, does this thing stink.
It does smell
I mean, it
weird.
smells
We
funny.
open it up and I'm like,
What
Tommy,
the hell?
what'd you
No, I
do?
thought it was you.
No, it was gross.
And you're lying on this thing in this
Yeah, you can
stench.
smell it, yeah.
You got a triangle hitting on the back of your head,
You have to wash the back of your neck.
and
after
then
you
you're
do it.
going like this.
It's very weird. The other thing about the Pyramat is that it's not cheap. It's $150.
$150.
Are you going to recommend the Pyramat PM 300?
I can't do it.
It works, but I can't recommend it either. On the positive side, the concept of the Pyramat is very unique. You can fold it up and take it with you. And actually, the stereo sound and the subwoofer work quite well.
On the negative side, it's not very comfortable, it's expensive, and it stinks. Literally.
Stick around. We've got a couple of fantasy games after this. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles versus Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2.